365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Sports Network. I am Ace from the West Coast, and of course, you are watching another episode of Sportsminute. And tonight, I am joined by, tonight he decided to change his name, not J Mac and Cheese or J Mac and Chili, but tonight he actually goes by J Mac and Cheddar. So, how's it going tonight, my man?
I plan on bringing the cheddar.
The cheddar cheese.
The cheddar cheese.
That stinky cheese.
Yeah.
All right, and then of course, guess what? We have the return of none other than the Vic. How you doing?
Woo! I am feeling good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to bring the salsa for the cheddar, for the queso.
And just so everybody knows, you can clearly see that she now has a Chargers hat. So she is repping the Chargers.
Committed.
Everybody knows that she's been a Seahawk fan, and then she's talked several times about being a Chargers fan, and she's now fully committed because she's gone out and bought that Chargers hat. So she is ready to rock and roll on that.
Cool camo
one.
Underneath too. Check that out.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love that look. That's an awesome look.
And the American flag on the side.
All right, so before we jump into our topics, because we know we have some awesome topics for you tonight, like usual. So before we jump into those topics, the first thing we want to do is we're going to show you a little bit of our sponsor. So the first sponsor we have is that Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. So go ahead, Brandon,
Suzanne's
pull up that
Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us, from all of us here at the ASAP Network.
Woo, gotta fan myself.
I know, you got to feel, every time you hear that Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, it gets hot in here and you have to cool yourself off because it's Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. And it just
bust out a
keeps you
little
going.
Nelly when that happens. Woo.
So, of course, we have our next sponsor before we move on to that, which is Misty Meadows. Got to pull up some of that little bit of barbecue. Yeah! Barbecue sauce and jelly. I love it. And then, of course, one last thing. Go ahead and show you know what? The Vic, since you are returning, since you tell us. Hold on. You're going to tell us how you can win one of the shirts. So tell us how you can win one of those shirts.
To be a winner, chicken dinner, all you got to do is comment on it on there. Tell us what you're thinking. Do you agree with our ideas? Do you agree with our picks? And if you have the most comments at the end of the month, the end of the month, you win. You get a T-shirt for free, even with shipping. We pay for it.
I love it. Okay, so now we can actually go back and say, what if you can't come on and comment, but you see all these awesome ASAP Network T-shirts and you want one? How else can you get one of those shirts?
Pull out your little debit card. Pull out your wallet. $14.99 plus shipping and handling, and it's yours. It's swag. Valentine's Day has passed, but you can still buy it as a gift because I think St. Patrick's Day is coming, and it's got green, and you want to wear green. We have sizes from small to 2XL. We can go bigger if we need to. Costs a little bit more, but I mean, come on. Who doesn't want a cool? I mean, it's awesome. Seriously, come on. Buy a shirt. Come on.
All right. So now we know how you can get one of those awesome shirts by either winning or actually purchasing it, just letting somebody know on the ASAP Network, and we'll be good to go on that. So everybody knows each week that we choose a NFL team, and then we go over who their top 5 quarterbacks were of all time. So this week, we get the luxury and the privilege of going over the San Francisco 49ers top 5 quarterbacks list of all time. And we all know that J-Mac and Chetta has been waiting for this list for a very, very long time. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. But anyways, yeah, we do have the San Francisco 49ers top 5 quarterback list of all time. But I will say, at least there was 2 Hall of Famers on this list. At least, when you think about it, at least there was 2. So, J-Mac and Cheddar, I'll go ahead and I'll let you start out with your top 5 list.
All right. Well, number 5. Without further ado, not going to waste time. Sit here and talk about other stuff that's not relevant. I'm glad Vic's back. I was going to get to the list. Number 5.
The list.
Jeff Garcia. And his stats might not be that awesome as far as they go, but he was really a stopgap for them. He solidified that position for a couple of years while they were in between trying to find another quarterback. Took them to the playoffs. Really rejuvenated that offense. So Jeff Garcia for that reason would be number 5. Number 4, he's appeared on another list as well. But I have Y.A. Tittle. Did great for the 49ers as well. But he was also on the Giants list, if you remember our Giants list a while ago. But he had a great career there in San Francisco as well. Number 3 for me is John Brody. Started 159 games for them through 214 touchdowns. And he led them to the playoffs 3 times. Was the MVP one season as well. So John Brody at number 3. Number 2, Steve Young. And really 2 or 1 could have been either way. No, I'm kidding. It couldn't have been either way because Steve Young is number 2. He won a Super Bowl for San Francisco. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He was great. Led him to the playoffs a bunch of times. Like I said, won a championship. But there is only one number 1 for the 49ers. That's Joe Cool, Joe Montana. 4 Super Bowls. He was undefeated in the Super Bowl. He never lost a Super Bowl. Sure, Brady's won 7, but he's lost 3 as well. So, Joe never lost in the Super Bowl. Word. Yeah. And
Brady's
so
a curse word.
Joe Montana, number 1. And it's not close, I don't think.
So interesting. I like your list, and before Vic goes, I want to do my, and that's only because I usually go last on my top 5 list. And what ends up happening is I usually end up getting screwed over because everybody already has my list because we know how these lists works. But mine was pretty similar to actually what J-Mac had. So number 5. I honestly didn't know if anybody else was going to put Jeff Garcia on their list, but I actually put Jeff Garcia on my list at number 5. And when you look at Jeff Garcia, there's reasons for it, though, because when he played for the 49ers, Jeff Garcia was actually a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2000, 2001, and 2002. And this is the interesting thing. I know you can look at Jeff Garcia's win-loss record and be like, it wasn't that great. You're right. It was 35-36, but he did lead them to the playoffs. His playoff record, yeah, it wasn't spectacular. He was 1-2, but think about it. He had a 61% completion percentage, and he threw for over 16,000 yards. And like J-Mac said, they did let him go. They actually let him walk away after like 4 seasons, I think it was, to be that bridge quarterback. However, I didn't think it was the right move because once Jeff Garcia left, man, they were kind of in a big mess. They had quarterback after quarterback, and they couldn't find that right guy. Jeff Garcia was there. He put him over in that playoff hump that they needed. They should have kept Jeff Garcia around, and maybe he could have done some great things on that team. Maybe he could have taken him to an NFC championship. I understand that most of the passes he threw weren't pretty, but he had talent. And then, of course, number 4, this is where I was a little bit different on J-Mac on this one. Number 4 actually went with John Brody. Now, keep in mind with John Brodie actually did win MVP. John Brodie actually won the MVP in 1970. He did win it then. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler. And keep in mind, though, too, the interesting aspect about this was that the San Francisco 49ers actually retired his number. So number 12 is actually officially retired by them. His overall record was 74, 77, and 8. So again, nothing spectacular. But he threw for 31,548 yards, and he did throw 214 touchdowns, and 224 picks. So, but MVP, retired number, you got to have him on your list at number 4. You have to. And then number 3, of course, it's that man. He's been on the list before, Y.A. Tittle, because not only was he good when he played for the Giants, but he was good when he played with the 49ers too. He was a 4-time Pro Bowl with the 49ers, but overall 7 times in his career, he was actually a Pro Bowler, but it was 4 with San Francisco. And the UPI actually named him the league MVP in 59 and then again in 61. He threw for over 16,000 yards. His completion percentage wasn't great. It was a 55.9. It was nothing spectacular. But back in that era, yeah, that was really good. So congratulations to Y.A. Tittle. You're number 3 on my list. Don't forget, he did throw 118 touchdowns too. And then number 2, the man doesn't need no introduction because everybody knows number 2 is going to be Steve Young because you can't put him in front of Joe Montana. So number 2, this is what's ridiculous. When you look at Steve Young's win-loss record, the dude was 91 wins and only 33 losses. That is crazy. Now, he threw for 29,000 yards and 29,907 yards. His completion percentage was 65.8. And this is the other thing too. He threw for over 200 touchdowns. So it was 225 touchdowns and less than 100 picks, 86 interceptions. So this guy was really, really good. Had he played for a different team, he might have been number 1 on this list. But you cannot put him ahead of Joe Montana. There's just no way. And Joe Montana does not need no introduction. Huh?
I was just going to say, the only thing that Young had over Montana is that Young could scramble. So on top of his 225 touchdown passes, he had
And
24 rushing touchdowns, yeah.
And Steve Young also won 2 MVP awards. So he actually won that in 92 and 94. So that was a little bit of difference that he had over Joe Montana. But you really can't take away Joe Montana from number 1 because he's got so many passing records for the 49ers. He's got 4 Super Bowls. So you can't take him away. Like, you cannot take him off that number 1 spot. Joe Montana, Joe Cool, has earned the number 1 spot on my list. All right. Return of the Vic. Go ahead and tell me your top 5.
My top 5 are a little controversial, and I like it. I did not put Jeff Garcia on my list because I don't like him. Instead, at number 5, I put Colin Kaepernick. Everybody overlooked him. He only played 69 games. But he had 72 touchdowns against 30 interceptions. Took him to a Super Bowl. Almost won it. He was a scrambler. He had, I think, one game he rushed for more than the entire team. Like a record against Green Bay, I believe it was.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Really? That's the game you're going with?
That's the game I'm going.
Wow.
Thanks, Vic.
I know you missed me, so I had to bring it back. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in 69 games. I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, his career ended abruptly. I think he still had a lot more in him. I think San Francisco would have been best with him instead of Garoppolo, but that's just my opinion. So he's at number 5 because he was an integral part of the 49ers making that Super Bowl, and nobody can take that away from him. Number 4, I got Mr. John Brodie, as Ace and J Mac have all talked about. Number retired, super duper. He's an old guy. Played old school football. I didn't watch it then. Have a nice day. Number 3, everybody's favorite, YA Tittle. I just love saying Tittle. There's nothing more that I can add to what you guys already talked about him. I mean, dude was pretty good. And his real name, does anybody know his real name? Yalberton Abraham. I would go by YA too. I would. Number 2, Steve Young, the lefty. Brandon said he never lost a Super Bowl. Well, he only played in one. And he won it, so congratulations. But Joe Flacco's never lost a Super Bowl.
Trent Dilfer's never lost a Super Bowl either. So.
Brad Johnson's never lost.
Brad Johnson's never lost a Super Bowl. So that's but Steve Young. He was a scrambler. I think he was a start of that kind that nobody's seen before. That's why he was so good. His real name John Steven, so it's actually John Young, but he goes by Steve. That's a tip. It's a good fact. Number 1, of course, Cool Joe Cool, the comeback kid. Everybody knows the pass to in the end zone against the Cowboys, which if you're a Cowboys fan you hate, but if you hate the Cowboys you love it, even though you hate the 49ers as much, but it's still just as good. So yeah, Joe Montana's number 1. I mean, you can't go wrong with him. I actually like this because we've had a lot more quarterbacks to choose from that were actually decent. So, decent quarterbacks, yeah. So that's my top 5. Joe Cool. Here, smoked a little.
Yeah.
Still named Joseph Clifford Montana. That's his middle name, Clifford, like the dog.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying there for a second, Vic, about Steve Young, about his rushing abilities, he did have over 3,000 rushing yards. So he could scramble, and that was something that Joe Montana could not do. And even when you look at his rushing touchdowns, how many do you think he had? That's right, he had 37 rushing touchdowns. So, yeah, he was a scrambler. He was awesome at that also. So we do have some comments that are up here. One of the comments said, "Do you think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were kicking themselves for letting Steve Young go?"
Hell yeah.
I mean,
duh.
Yeah. I mean,
like when they let him go, their most successful quarterback in team history at that time was Steve Spurrier,
who also played for the 49ers.
Who also played for the 49ers,
yeah, he did.
But lost 26 consecutive games to start his career as their quarterback, and he was their most successful at that time. And then they got Vinny Testaverde. Say what you want about the guy, he played 20 years, so
he sucked us for a lot of money.
So now going away from our top 5 list here, now we're going to jump into our next topic, which I thought was kind of interesting because here's the thing. I was actually thrown off by this because I actually did not know until I saw a video about it on YouTube, to when we're talking about this fan-controlled football league. So this is kind of this is interesting because everybody knows that in this fan-controlled football league, they have a draft every single Wednesday, and it's all about the fans who choose basically where these players go. Well, each coach on the team gets to choose their two franchise players that they keep, and then they get to choose one keeper after their first week or whatever. And it's supposed to be like a 6-game schedule. 4 teams in the league. They got to choose their uniforms, their helmets, and then they pull out 4 plays on an app, and then the fans get to choose which play they want, and then the favorite goes. So, J-Mac, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about this? Do you think that this league's going to be something that people are going to turn into and want to see because it's a fan-controlled?
No.
No, you're immediately saying no.
No.
So what? In all seriousness, now what do you think it is about this league that you don't think will make it?
Well,
And
everything
yes,
you-
Brandon, yes, and Johnny Manziel is in this league.
That's why they won't make it.
That's number one. Number two was everything you just said. Who thought it'd be a great idea to let the fans
Oh my
decide
God.
what's good for a football game? I'm sorry. I understand as fans ourselves that there's some things that we want to see in a football game. But whose idea? Like this seems like, I don't know. It seems like guys sitting in a room and being like, "Hey, you know what we should do? Let's do a football league where we control everything and let's let Johnny Manziel play because that'll sell tickets and it'll bring people in. Oh, and then for the 1 point after, let's put a football on a stool and have someone hold it, and then we throw it to a guy who's being guarded one-on-one on the other side." I was not impressed.
Yeah, and then when you go for two,
As
you
bad
go for the
as
10.
NFL Europe was, I would rather watch that. Vic, I saw that look. But tell me I'm wrong. That you would
You are
rather,
not wrong.
you would rather watch NFL Europe than this crap that's on.
So
Yeah.
I think their thinking was with this is I think they wanted to get the Madden feeling because a lot of people play Madden and a lot of people are like, you know what, I can control a football team on Madden. I can do a fantasy draft on Madden, so I can choose my team. And I think that's where they were trying to go with this. And it's interesting with the aspect that they do a draft every single Wednesday. So you're not gonna have the same team every single week. So Vic, we haven't really heard from you on this one yet. So what's your opinion on this?
Well, let me tell you. When I play Madden or I'm watching football on TV and someone fumbles the ball, I would cut them, trade them, send them to northern Alaska. I don't care if that was ability to do. I'm very instant. Like I want instant gratification. You know, if somebody fumbles or there's an interception, bench them, get them out. They're done. Done. And that's just stupid. I'm not a coach. I'm someone watching the game. I can play Madden all day and I can score 100 points. Yay. That's because I'm playing on like beginner and Justin Herbert's thrown for like 8 touchdowns in the second half. It's stupid. It's the rules are stupid. Drafting every Wednesday is stupid. Johnny Manziel's stupid.
You're not wrong, Vic. Nothing you said is wrong.
So J-Mac,
I'm going to quote. I'm sorry, just real quick. I'm going to quote
Yeah.
a sports figure on this next one. Okay, everyone knows I work in retail, and you can't always listen to your customers because the customer is not always right. And you know who said that? Mark Cuban, and he owns the Mavericks. He'll tell you. He's like, you can't listen to everything the fans or your customers tell you because they're not always right, and they don't know what's good for your business. This is not good for business. It's not good.
So
No.
let me ask you a question because this is interesting though too because you guys probably know that the owners in this league are a lot of football players. There's Marshawn Lynch, I think, is part owner, and Marshawn Lynch is actually a referee in this league too. And
Oh, it's like a comedy league.
yeah,
It's got to be a comedy league.
yeah, it's kind of interesting, but when you think about it, so J-Mac, the concept alone, do you think that this is a concept that people could go with if you kind of adjusted the way it works and the rules and everything to not make a draft every Wednesday and maybe throw in some more teams in there? Do you think that they could make it work?
Now, have I dreamed of making enough money someday to just start a football league and put the rules in that I want and the teams where I want them and the players? Of course I have, because that's most people's dreams that will watch sports. They want to own a sports team or a sports league, and it makes sense. But you have to do it the right way. And so I think this is something that should be reevaluated. If they want it to work, they need one person that is kind of how do you say it? So you would have your outside person, your person that doesn't have to do, they're not the face of the league, but they handle the business side of everything, and they tell you how this all is going to work and how all this needs to go. A rules analyst, or a commissioner that's not an owner, not doesn't control the game, things like that. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but that's the best way I can go with it. Vic, do you understand what I'm trying to say as to what you need?
Oh yeah. You need someone that's not in the public eye to
That's it. Yeah.
take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to watch a little bit of it just to kind of get the whole concept and how the rules worked. And I saw the first couple minutes, and to be quite honest, I was really confused. I really and you got to think too. This is not a full 100-yard field. This is only a 50-yard field, and you can't kick any extra points. There's no punts. There's no kickoffs. So the whole thing is
a nightmare.
confusing. Well, I mean, it's like you said, the concept could work, but you got to make it right. You got to put in the right rules. You got to have the right players. You have to have the right business minds. From what I've seen right now, this seems like this was a league that was thrown together maybe a little too quickly. And
you think?
And it seems like it's all over the place.
It's like the version of hold my beer while I get this raccoon out of this trap.
Now, I know because the league is about a month long that they're saying that in general the players are going to make about $4,000 over the course of the month to go ahead and play in this league. So, I mean, I guess playing football for 1 month and making $4,000, I mean, I guess if that's what
Sign me up. I'm in. I'm in for that.
I'll hold the stool that the ball goes on. I mean,
right.
I mean, so you got to think in general. I don't know. I just think it could go somewhere if the league was ran right. But
yeah. I mean, the whole fan control thing. So I think you just scale that back. Fans don't. I would just say, don't have fans be in control of football operations because. Come on, like Vic said, that's just dumb. Okay, because guys, I mean, you're not going to think rationally. You're going to be like, cut him because he fumbled. Okay, everyone fumbles at some point. It's okay. Yeah, you could be mad and bench him for the game, but don't cut him. So you don't have. I think if you want the fans involved, the fans need to be involved in not in the football operations and stuff. So if you want to make it where the fans every game get to select 5 plays that are selected and ran a fan play every game or something like that, or the fans get to make one rule a year that goes in, some like that would be cool because now you're engaging your fans in a league. But the way they're doing it, it's kind of over the top, and like you said, it's really confusing to watch.
Well, it is because the fans got to choose everything. Like they gave them options and said, these are your options for the 2-point conversion or the 1 point. And so everybody chooses that wants to put in their opinion. You go in and you choose and tell me which one you want. And so in the end, concept is there, but you just got to make it. You got to make it better. And touching on the last thing about it is we don't even know how playoffs are going to work on that. Because,
playoffs.
Playoffs. And to answer Brandon's question when he's saying, is it on TV? It is actually not on TV. You have to watch it on Twitch. That's how you can watch it. And it does come on later on YouTube, but you can see it on Twitch if you want to watch it. But we don't even know.
Which is another dumb idea.
But we don't even know how the playoffs are going to work because the only reason I'm saying that is because you have basically a whole new team every week. So how can you say what team's better than who? Because it's a whole new team.
Right. And then that's what I'm trying to say is you need someone that comes in there and be like, okay, so let's let the fans control some things and keep it a fan-controlled football league. But first off, let's change the name because that's just awful. Okay, fan-controlled football league. Like, who thought of that? And then, so yeah, let them control some aspects of the game, but we need to get a handle on this thing. So this is how it's going to be set, and just start setting some stuff down. But like I said, let the fans, hey, if you're and I don't remember the team name, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but whatever, a team in Chattanooga. So Chattanooga fans, you get to submit plays, and we pick 5 a week of game plays that we'll run in a game. That'd be awesome. I'd submit a play, even if it never got got put in the game. I still got to submit a play to a professional league. Like that'd be awesome. Fans, you get to pick. I don't know. So it's anything but not the football operations. Not a draft every freaking Wednesday, and we got a guy that played for all 4 teams in the last 4 weeks. Oh, he's going back to the original team he played for in week 1.
Stupid.
Right. And then to start the game, instead of a coin flip, you do a little bit of Rochambeau.
Oh,
rock,
my
paper,
goodness.
Scissors at
That was the
beginning.
most embarrassing thing.
Don't forget Spock.
Oh, I'm like, we are a grown man about to play a football game. Like, come on, let's go. Let's see who gets the. Come on. I'd rather watch professional flag football than that.
I'd rather watch curling.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
We'll see. We'll see how long this lasts for, but I don't think it's going to last too long, anyways.
I don't even know if it'll last as long as the amount of minutes we just gave it on this network.
Well, and remember too that they cut it per halves, so it's actually 12-minute halves instead of quarters. And they did it because they wanted the games to take a shorter amount of time, so each game is about an hour long. So it's kind of interesting how they did that.
So next topic is
this all gives me a headache.
Yep. So going on, I just wanted to touch on that because there's a lot of people that don't know what's out there, and so I wanted to see what everybody felt about it.
They're better off.
So, America, you're welcome. Now you know the travesty and just the atrociousness that is the fan-controlled football league.
What was the speech the teacher gave after after Billy Madison's speech? We're all stupider for this conversation.
I'm now dumber for hearing.
We're now
no
dumber for
points.
having listened to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I award you
no points. And may God have mercy on your soul. Yes. All right. So jumping into our next topic is who we feel like is the most overrated MLB player of all time. And Return of the Vic. You get to go first on this one since you haven't got to go first on the topic yet.
I love this because I get to say the name that I hate and loathe so much because he's done.
Can I take a guess?
Nothing for his teams. Yes.
Can I take a guess?
Sure.
And I am going to come out and I'm going to say that the person you're going to choose went from the Nationals to the Phillies, and you're going to go with Bryce Harper. Yes.
I totally am. I hate him so much. And and I love that the Nationals won the World Series after he left. Yes. Like, yeah, I don't like him. I mean, he's done pretty well for himself. 232 homers, averages 276. But I mean, what has he really brought to his team besides controversy and arrogance? Nothing. I think he's overrated coming out of college. I think he's overrated getting upgraded to the Nationals like within his first year in the minors. He is not worth the hype. That's just my opinion because I don't like him. And I get to say
bro?
Are you? Yeah, that's a clown question, bro. That's a clown question.
I seriously was going like that was somebody I could have picked, but then I'm like, you know what? The Vic is coming on this show, and I was like, I know she dislikes Bryce Harper, so it's not going to surprise me if she picks him. I was like, so I'm going to go ahead and stay away from Bryce Harper because that's probably where she's going with this one.
It's a good idea. Good idea. Good call. You win.
So, J-Mac, this is all you, sir.
Yeah, Return of the Vic. I'm so glad that you brought up Billy Madison because there was a name that was brought up there when he's supposed to write cursive on the chalkboard, and it was a baseball player. Rizzuto's not a word. He's a baseball player. That's cheating. Well, Phil Rizzuto, let me tell you, sir, you are You are the most overrated baseball player of all time. Let me tell you why. Vic, do you know why? Let me tell you why.
Tell me why.
Well, he was on a team that won 10 American League pennants and 7 World Championships in 13 years. Okay? He holds some World Series records for shortstops, which are not offensive records, by the way. They're defensive records. He's got a 968 career fielding average. And that really is about all the highlights of Phil Rizzuto's career. So he played from 1941 to 1956, all right? He made the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1994. Should I tell you what his career stats were offensively?
Hit me.
He hit 273. He hit 38 home runs. And he had 573 RBIs in 15 years. And he's in the Hall of Fame. And he's in the Hall of Fame because he won 7 championships in 13 years.
He's the Troy Aikman of baseball.
He is the Troy Aikman of baseball. Yes. And they even call it the Phil Rizzuto effect, by the way. And they say that if he had played for, and their example in this is the Washington Senators at the time, had he played for that team, he doesn't even sniff an all-star game, let alone be in the Hall of Fame. So think about that for a minute. It's only because he played for the Yankees and won 7
I'm about to go to
championships.
Minnesota and beat up Brandon right now.
Yeah, he had to name drop the Braves in there just to tell you.
Which Brave could make it? I got one for you right off the top of my head, and I almost picked him. Because that damn freaking Ugla stole so much money from Atlanta, it's not funny. And
Or BJ Upton.
Or BJ Upton. I don't want to talk about either one of those guys. So Phil Rizzuto's my pick, and we're going to move on to Ace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think about – so I'm going to throw a few names out there and say Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Ken Caminiti. What do they all have in common?
Steroids.
So, my most overrated MLB player of all time, and no, I did not say Bonds, and no, I did not say Mark McGwire. I actually went with Ken Caminiti, and here's why I went with Ken Caminiti. When you look at Ken Caminiti's numbers, it's actually kind of entertaining in a way how his numbers for the first 5 or 6 years, he didn't even average 14 home runs a year. And then all of a sudden, his 5th year, he goes from like 14 home runs, and then it goes to 18, and then it skyrockets up to 30. Now, at this point, everyone's like, oh, man, this guy was just a late bloomer, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's some other interesting things about him. Yeah, he was a 3-time All-Star, a 3-time Gold Glover winner, who also won the National League MVP award in 1996. All in told in his career, he had a batting average of 272 with 239 home runs and 983 RBIs. Now, in that 1996 season, he hit 326 average, 40 home runs, and 130 ribbies. At that point, everyone's like, oh, you know what? MVP all the way, blah, blah. Okay, here's the thing. Everything changed at that point because that's when Ken Caminiti came out and said, you know what? I use steroids. His numbers skyrocketed. And so at that point, you're like, okay, he came out and admitted, not only did he admit and said he used steroids that year, but he came out and said he used steroids prior years before that. That was trying to help his game build and build and build and build. So I don't care what his numbers say, that he was a 3-time All-Star. Now, does steroids really have anything to do with Gold Gloves? I mean, not necessarily, but on the offensive side, you can look at that and be like, yeah, his home runs and the runs batted in, that could be overinflated because of steroid use. And so I'm looking at that going, you know what? He was overrated because of, and we've talked about this on shows like this before, to where we said, if you've come out and said that you've used steroids, should you really be in the Hall of Fame, or should that be tainted? And it should be a tainted thing, because when you cheat, and that's exactly what it should be. And he came out and said, yeah, I cheated, I used them. Now, would he have had talent? I mean, yeah, but would it have amounted to what he did there? Probably not. It's just so hard at that point.
Never gonna know.
Yeah. Hey, Vic, gotta ask you a question. Have you seen the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles
Many times.
with Steve
Fingers
Martin
are in
and
the
John
dashboard.
Candy? So, when Ace said, I use steroids, do you know what scene popped into my mind? When they're sitting in the restaurant and he's like, we were robbed. And he's like, oh, do you think so?
So
That's the first thing I thought when he's like, I use steroids. Oh, do you think so?
I see that comment. I see that comment by Brandon at the bottom about Mr. Bobby Bonilla. Not only was he overrated,
smartest.
but he stole
Smartest. He's
stole
the
money
smartest
from the Mets.
player in Major League history is Mr. Bobby Bonilla. Because I will forever, ever love Bobby Bonilla for one reason. He screwed up the Mets for years. And it's awesome.
He still steals money from him every year.
They have Bobby Bonilla Day when they have to pay him $1.1 million every year. And he hasn't played – he hasn't played in a game in 20 years, and they're still paying him $1 million a year.
Right. Yeah, it's funny.
He will get paid every day until he's 62, 63, something like, or every year until he's 63. Just the most brilliant baseball contract, the most brilliant sports contract of all time.
It's July 1st is Bobby Bonilla Day.
July 1st, Bobby Bonilla Day.
1.2 million.
Bobby Bonilla
Should be a national holiday, by the way.
So that's when
He'll
it
do
comes
through,
down to
2035, so he's got 14 more years.
And how old is he right now?
I don't know how old he is.
I'm just curious how long he gets paid for.
He's like ancient.
So can you pull up Yoel's comment, please? Can you pull up his comment, because that's
He's
funny.
57. 57.
So he's going to get paid $1.2 million a year until he's 71.
So I want you guys to look. I want you guys to look at this comment. Yoel is a Mets fan. Yoel is a Mets fan. And he's coming out saying he despises Bobby Bonilla to the core.
No, what? Yoel, I get it. Okay, I understand you despise Bobby Bonilla. But don't hate the play, hate the game. Like, he was brilliant. Hate the Mets for that. That's who you got to hate. I mean, you talk about a guy that they're like, oh, yeah, we'll pay you $1.2 million for the next 35 years. That's fine. We'll pay you every year till you're 71 years old. He's sitting there. He is sitting there living his best life doing nothing. And when the grandkids are like, Grandpappy, where'd you make your money? I talked some idiots into giving me $1.2 million a year for 35 years. I haven't hit a ball in 35 years, but I make $1.2 million from baseball.
Every year.
Every year.
Wait for that direct deposit to hit. Let's go shopping.
That has been known as one of the worst contracts ever in like the history of sports. That's been known as that.
And honestly, if I ever meet Bobby Bonilla, I'm getting his autograph. And not from being a baseball player, but because being the smartest man I have ever met. And I threw the Met in there just because.
Just because.
All right. So now we'll go on.
He should
to
have named his son Shea, by the way.
He should.
Without going too far off topic, I want to go to.
Oh, we're way
off topic already because we're talking about like the overrated baseball, but that's okay. So J Mac, you go ahead because now next is J Mac's spotlight player.
Oh.
So tell me today, who is your spotlight player?
Well, My spotlight player is a Canadian-born baseball player, and he played outfield, first base, and designated hitter. He holds the Major League record for most pinch hit home runs in Major League history. Does anyone know who this player is?
Canadian born.
Outfield, first base,
Yep.
and DH.
Yep.
Oh, crap! It's right there on the tip of my.
Crap.
Was he a Philly?
Well, let's see. This player played for 13 teams.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, at one point he did play for the Phillies.
Oh, it was not. There's two guys that I have in my head right now that I'm thinking of them. One was Matt Stairs. It wasn't Matt Stairs, was it?
It is Matt Stairs, actually. Yes.
Boom, Matt Stairs. Okay.
Yep.
Matt
Yay!
Stairs.
Yeah, Matt Stairs. He played. He in his career, Stairs played for the most teams than any other position player in Major League history. 12. Technically 13 teams, but 12 franchises. And I can explain that because he played for the Montreal Expos and the Washington Nationals. That's how long he hung around in Major League Baseball. He played for the Montreal Expos in 1992 and then played for the Washington Nationals in 2011. So, played for that franchise twice. Now, in his career, you would think these numbers would be higher, but they're not. For a guy who had power, he hit 265 career home runs and drove in 899 runs. He hit 262 for his career. Here was Matt Stairs' problem. Can anyone guess?
It was either a home run or strike. It's a typical home run or strikeout, and
he was he was the guy that started the whole home run or strikeout.
He was the first Douglas.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yes.
He was the first guy to average one strikeout a game for an entire season.
That's
He was
ridiculous.
the first one to strike out 200 times in a season. 200 times in a year.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, if you look at his entire career, he averaged striking out 144 times a season for his entire career. But he hit 265 home runs.
Oh, well, there you go.
And had the most pinch hit home runs of all time. So that was Matt Stairs' career. He played for 13 teams. Because you need a big bat in the middle of the lineup, a guy who might hit a home run or he might strike out, Matt Stairs was your man.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you what gave it away for me on the Matt Stairs thing, and the reason why I said Phillies was simply because I remember whenever he played for those freaking pesky Phillies, every time when they played us, and Matt Stairs, I said freaking, whenever Matt Stairs came up to bat against us, being on that Phillies team, for some reason, every time it would almost be a home run with this guy. So I always remembered Matt Stairs with the Phillies because the game is on the line and guess who's coming up? Matt Stairs with a runner on base. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Matt Stairs is going to hit this out because that's what he's been doing against Atlanta forever. And he came up and he kept doing it. And I got so frustrated with the guy. I'm like, why can't he just freaking retire and just go away? So, but then he changed teams. And I respect the guy for how clutch he was. I truly respect him. But so frustrating. So frustrating.
He named his son Turner. I'm joking. That would have been funny, though.
It wouldn't have surprised me. I mean, it really wouldn't have surprised me. So that was actually J-Mac Spotlight Player. So really the one thing that I want to touch on just really quick is because this came up today. So Fernando Tatis Jr. just signed a 14-year deal for $350 million. And so this was brought up because of the whole Bobby Bonilla thing. And so can this potentially end up being like another Bobby Bonilla thing? 14 years, $350 million. So
No, because Fernando Tatis Jr. is 24 years old. So they're only paying him until he's 38, not 71.
But let's see. Can you two, other than Matt Stairs, played for multiple teams?
He's only 22.
Oh well, I was guessing, but still,
Yeah,
I mean,
still,
they're only
it's crazy.
paying him until he's my age,
Or 36.
yeah, not
71.
not 71.
So, J-Mac, I'll start with you on this. What was your thoughts on this massive deal? Because, last year he was in the MVP race at the beginning of the season for a long time, and then his numbers kind of dipped, and Tatis Jr. is going to be a stud for a long time. He's going to be one of the tops in the league. So, do you think that you haven't seen enough of him yet to give him this type of contract?
I think it's the market. I think it's what you got to pay for a premier player, and we all know that baseball is just you pay a luxury tax. You can pay anyone whatever you want, and there's no salary cap. So you're going to see contracts get bigger and bigger. I don't think this is going away anytime soon. Do I think he's worth the money? No one person is worth that much money. I don't care how good you are. I don't care who you are. That is not, and no one's worth that much money. Now, on the other side of that, what do I wish? I wish I would have stayed in shape and become a better baseball player. That's for damn sure.
Right. Vic?
Mike Trout might be worth that amount of money, but he's proven year after year that he's earned that stature. This is only Tatis' second year, and he's already got $340 million. Like J-Mac said, it's a market. That's what people. Baseball has no salary cap, which I think is unfair. I think they should have a salary cap just like every other, just like football. To make it even. I mean, like the Pittsburgh Pirates, they can't afford a $340 million contract.
No,
they don't have the money or the resources to do that. So
neither
I don't
can
think
teams
he's
like
worth
Oakland.
it. Yeah, I don't think he's worth it right now. I mean, he may prove me wrong in 3-4 years that he's worth it, but at the moment, I read an article that said the Braves were very smart to get Acuna for 8 years at $100 million. So I mean,
they got Acuna.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. They got Acuna for 8 years and $100 million. They got Albies for what? 6 years, $55 million. 7 years, 55, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they got Freeman for 5 years and right around $100 million, I want to say. So they got their
next year. So yeah.
But still, they got these three guys that are going to be fundamental for less than what he just signed for.
Yeah, they got three players for basically half of what it costs to get one.
Yeah,
I'd rather have that because now they also got Machado at third. They have $250 million banked into.
And
so
Atlanta having that money left was able to bring Ozuna back as well.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations on him for making the money. But I think I don't know. He might end up being another Bobby Bonilla when he's 30. Who knows?
Well,
but I mean, it's going to be a lot of money paid out to one guy, and I don't think San Diego can keep their players that they like Snell and Darvish once they hit free agency. They're not going to be able to afford $100 million contracts. So I don't know. I don't think he's worth it right now. He may in the future, but now I would say no. Because he was already locked on a rookie deal.
Yeah, I think they put themselves in quite a hole by doing this.
Yeah, they have a lot of money invested in just two people.
All right, so I kind of did something interesting today when it came to Ace's mini game. It's kind of an interesting aspect. No. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool because I know most of us are fans of sports movies. That's just something that we generally like.
Can I say one thing really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Naomi Osaka just beat Serena in 2 sets.
Yeah, I saw that. I was very disappointed. So
that's crazy.
Wait, who say that name again?
Naomi Osaka.
Oh, pretty sure when we talked about this, I said Naomi Osaka was the one to watch out for. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. We're going to have to go back and review that and make y'all eat some humble pie. But I'm pretty sure that
It was
that's
the
who I
butterfly.
said was. Yeah.
It was the butterfly. It was Kobe. That was the butterfly.
No, you did say that, but I said Serena was going to win it. I said Serena was going to win it, and she didn't. So
And Portland
All
won
right.
too. Portland beat the Pelicans by 2.
So, going back to where J-Mac was like, oh, I'm liking this so far. I'm liking this so far. So what I did was I simply pulled some quotes out of sports movies. And I want to see if you can get what the quotes are. Oh, yeah. J-Mac's like, oh,
Locked
yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah. So, since Vic...
Oh, shocker, Brandon Herrera.
So...
Kobe, duh.
This is Vic's first time back in about a week and a half. So, Vic, you get to choose. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
I'm going to go second.
You're going to go second.
Yeah.
All right?
This
J-Mac,
isn't like
this
the
first,
draft thing. You didn't stack the deck against
No.
me or anything already.
this
right?
one
Okay.
comes to you. This question comes to you. What movie is this quote from? I don't play defense.
Oh, that was from Space Jam. And it was said by Bill Murray.
Good job.
Oh,
He walks in and he's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And he's like, Bill, we on defense. And he's like, whoa, I don't play defense.
right. You're going to have to listen to Mike on this one, guys. All right.
All right.
So that's one for J-Mac. So
One
Nate,
for
if you're
J-Mac.
keeping track backstage there, that's one for J-Mac. And now we go to the Vic side. So Vic,
Yes.
and J-Mac, you're gonna love this one too. Your quote. And what movie's this from? Just a bit outside.
Oh, come on.
Major League. Come on.
Yes, you got
Major
it.
League.
So it's 1-1. So Vic got it.
Dave, you be quiet right now, or I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm expressing. I'll throw hands, Dave. I will throw hands, Dave. You want to catch
All
hands,
right.
Dave? Let's go. Okay, I'm good now. I'm all right. I'm
All right.
I'm calm. I'm
J-Mac,
good.
this question's for
Who's
you.
up?
Will you remember me if I don't make it?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Will you remember me if I don't make it? Oh, man. Something tells me I should know that. I don't, though. I'm drawing a blank on that one.
That's actually from Hoop Dreams.
Yep.
Hoop Dreams. All right. All right, Vic. This one comes
Let's
to
go.
you. Your next question is. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Give me a minute. I'm all right. Nobody's worried about me. I'm gonna go Caddyshack. Bill Murray and the Dancing Gopher.
Dang it.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
It's when he's leaning the kid against the shed with the pitchfork and tells the story about the Dalai Lama.
So Vic 2, J-Mac 1.
Dang it.
All right.
All right.
Ain't nobody worried about me.
J-Mac, this one comes to you. And I'm pretty sure you'll get this one because this one's actually pretty easy. The quote is, you make sure they remember.
I want to say it's Remember the Titans.
Yeah, I want to say that too.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, Remember the Titans.
That would be correct.
I just watched that the other night.
It's like the refs aren't calling anything, and he's like, "You make sure they remember the night that they played the Titans. They remember the Titans."
So it's now 2. It's now 2-2. It's 2-2 now. Okay. So Vic, this question comes to you.
Okay.
I believe in the soul.
I believe in the soul.
I believe in the soul.
This is a sports movie?
Yes.
I know it was in the Disney movie Soul, but I don't think that's the question. I don't think that's the answer. Because that wasn't a sports movie. I don't know.
This is actually an all-time classic. So, J-Mac, you want to take a guess?
Field of Dreams.
No, the correct answer is actually Bull Durham.
That was the other Kevin Costner movie. Of course, it was the other one.
Damn that Kevin Costner.
I know.
All right. This one goes to J-Mac. J-Mac, the quote is, "I'll make it."
Say it again. You cut out.
I'll make it.
Oh. Is it Tin Cup and Roy McAvoy when he's trying to hit the ball over the water?
No.
What's Indiana? Come on. Help me.
Oh, gosh dang it. Yeah.
No.
Hoosiers? Is that what it is?
You got it. You got it, Vic. You got it. It's Hoosiers. It's Hoosiers. Chalk one up for Vic
It was
on
on
that
AMC
one.
the other day, and I watched it.
Yep.
So-
Gene
No,
Hackman.
Brandon, not Titans again.
Not Titans again. All right. Let's scroll through here. All right. All right, Vic. This one's for you.
Thanks, boss.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
What? Why? What the?
But it looks like she doesn't know, so you might have a chance to steal it.
I know who said it. It was. I know who said it. Just give me a second. Are you messing with me? Is this like a different movie than Who Said It? Is this like you're like messing with me? Just
I'm
give me a
not
minute.
messing with you. I'm not messing with you.
Lou Gehrig said it. I don't know if it was in a movie. Was it a movie about Lou Gehrig? I don't. Fudge. You're killing me here. It has to be a Yankees movie, right? What Yankees movie? Fine. Old Yankees movie. It's right there. It's right there. Something of the Yankees. Pride of the Yankees!
Yeah, she got it. She got it. It's the Pride of the Yankees. Chalk another one up for Vic because she got that one.
I'm a genius. I was tested. Not really. Wasn't tested for that.
All right. Oh, wow. J-Mac's going to get
I knew
lucky
who
on
said
this
it.
one. J-Mac's going to get lucky on this one because guess what? You just got an easy one. So,
Here's a softball.
no. And the quote is, right now, this is the quote of the movie. The quote is, "Show me the money!"
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, that's why I said you got an easy one. You got an easy one. That one was as simple. That one was so easy.
Kirby
All
Puckett.
right.
What are they talking about?
Huh?
I was just looking at Brandon
Kirby
talking about
Puckett?
Kirby Puckett. I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
He's a has-been.
Oh, Vic. Guess what?
You're gonna-
You get another. You get an easy one here. You get an easy one.
Do it!
All right. J-Mac, you're going to be really disappointed that you did not get this question.
Good.
The quote is, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
It's dodgeball.
Absolutely, right?
Is that really a sports movie?
It's considered a sports movie.
Oh. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
All right. J-Mac, this one's for you. Because Vic got another one, so it would be 5-3 at this point. So J-Mac, this is for you. There's no crying in baseball.
A league of their own.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, he got it. Yep. All right. J-Mac got it, so 5-4. So Vic, this one comes to you.
Bring it. Bring it.
Great. I believe it's 5-4 now. Yep, it should be 5-4. There you go. All right. So Vic, this one's for you. Great moments are born from great opportunity.
These are from movies.
Yes.
Yes, this is from a movie.
I'm just messing. This is my favorite movie. American Hockey. Miracle.
Okay. Wow, I didn't think she was going to get it that easy, but
I watch that movie like once a month. It's on Netflix.
once a month. Well, Vic got that one right. So, J-Mac, this one goes to you. Can you live in that moment as best as you can? Then you're perfect.
I think he's just making words up right now.
Did J-Mac freeze? I think he froze.
Elsa.
No, that was not something that I made up. That was legitimately not.
What was it again? You can live in that moment if?
Can you live in that moment as best you can? Then you're perfect.
Sounds like For Love of the Game or some Kevin Costner shit.
No, it was not. It was
My
not.
bad. Oh, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a TV show?
Yeah.
Was it a TV show?
Yeah, a TV sports movie or a TV sports show, technically.
So it was a TV show and a movie. In Texas?
I think that's where it took place. I'm not 100% sure. Well,
I'm gonna go with what you said.
What?
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, that would have been right. That would have been right.
Yay!
Friday Night Lights. But looks like we lost our other competitor. He was having some Wi-Fi issues. So I guess with that, our victor tonight is the Vic.
It's the Heisman pose.
Yep, the Vic is our victor tonight. She takes it 7-4.
I didn't mean to say that, Esther. I'm so sorry.
And so with that, Vic, you got that 30 seconds to wrap up and tell everybody, you know what.
Was he back?
J-Mac is back, maybe.
What?
Is he back?
Oh,
Yeah.
he keeps disappearing.
Yeah, he keeps disappearing.
There he is. Hi, Elsa.
No, I'll tell you all after the show.
You're good. You're
Anyway,
good.
go
All
ahead.
right.
What's the
I
next
dropped
one?
the S
No.
bomb, and I apologize.
At least you got
You're
Doug
good.
to laugh. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I get 30
anywho.
seconds to vent.
Well, yeah.
Okay. My vent is very simple. Tom
ahead.
Brady is not the MVP of the Super Bowl. He did not win that Super Bowl. Tampa Bay's defense won that Super Bowl. They made Patrick Mahomes look like a child. And I hate that he's getting all the credit for it when it was Tampa Bay's defense that won that game. Tampa Brady's overrated. Changed my mind.
All right, J-Mac.
What are we doing? I'm sorry.
I've been saving that up for 2 weeks.
We got our 30 seconds at the end. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll take off of Vic's thing a little bit. Tom Brady is overrated. However, I have to say, and Vic, you don't have to agree with me. We don't agree on a lot, but I will say, I enjoy Florida Tom way more than I ever enjoyed Boston Tom, because
He was drunk.
I want to be Florida Tom, to be completely honest. That would be amazing. So I'm just saying, I can appreciate and I can respect Florida Tom. Boston Tom was kind of a DB. So, anyway, I just want to say thanks, y'all, for watching. Sorry about that little error, the little thing that happened there. But
Glitch.
yeah, the glitch. Thanks for watching us on Sports Minute. Tune in Friday to What the Puck. It'll be our second episode. Myself and Ace from the West Coast. We might convince Vic to come on one of these days. Who knows? But
I might watch some hockey. Who knows?
yeah, we'll see. Anyway, enjoy that. And we thank y'all. Brandon, thanks for running the background tonight. We couldn't have done it without you, buddy. And of course, we still have Nate back there as well. So thanks, everybody.
All right. So I truly, truly hope everybody enjoyed our little sports quote game here. I enjoyed it. And, of course, J-Mac froze. So then the game got ruined. So that's okay. We'll pick this up again. We'll pick this up again next time, because I think that's a fun game, because there's multiple movie quotes to go off of. So I hope everybody had a great time. And then don't forget that tomorrow is Real Talk. And then Friday is, of course, What the Puck. And then right back here again on Saturday, we are going to have another episode of Between the Ropes. And then going
And I'll
next
support a
week,
different Chargers hat on Saturday. I bought two.
I love it. I love it. So pretty much for the next couple weeks, we will have some special guests on Between the Ropes. So look forward to that too, just to tell you. All right. So I want to thank everybody again for watching. But before we wrap up the show, guys, go ahead and pull up some Anchor here. So J-Mac, why don't you tell me
Pull
a
up
little
the
bit
Anchor.
about Anchor?
Yeah, so Anchor, if you can't watch it tonight, you want to listen to it, give us 24, 48 hours. We'll download it to there. You can listen to it on anything you can get your podcasts on. There's Google Podcasts, there's Anchor, there's Spotify. Spotify's the biggest one. Listen to it on there. And if you want to check it out and start your own podcast, sports podcast, stuff rolling around in your head, doesn't really matter what you want to make your podcast on. Go to anchor.fm. They give you all your tools. Everything's free to start. And free to start, eventually you start making a tad bit of money for doing that. So that's Anchor. And we thank them for that.
And Vic,
Yeah. What?
Vic, Queen of the Quack Attack. Tell me, how can you win one of those exciting shirts?
One of these shirts can be won by simply commenting during our show. Like Dave, who I don't always agree with, and Dave, the worst movie ever is any movie that you like. That's what the worst movie ever is. We got Teresa leaving some comments, Brandon leaving some comments, Dave, Doug leaving some comments. I made him laugh because I said that's a bad idea. And at the end of the month, we tally up all the comments. Whoever has the most comments, viewer of the month, you win a shirt. Come on. It's fun.
All right.
Or you could simply pay $14.99 plus shipping and handling If you don't like to comment, or maybe you're driving, you're listening, you can't comment, and we have sizes small to 2XL. We can get bigger if we need to. It's black with neon green. So St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Got to wear green. Perfect opportunity to get a shirt. That's swag. Everybody loves swag.
I love it, Vic. I love it. I love it. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for watching. And you know what? This is Ace from the West Coast. He's J-Mac and Cheddar. And then, of course, we have the return of the Vic. So everybody have a fantastic night. And we will see you again. Ace out.
Saturday. Dave, shut up. You didn't win nothing.